In this video, I will show you how to create a thread by extending thread class. Let's get down to practice and create a new project. I'm going to use IntelliJ IDEA for this course, but you are free to use any other it. For example, you can use Eclipse it if you want. I am going to use thread example for the project name. Let's create a main class and main method for the class. Now we have a main class with the static void main method. When Java Virtual Machine starts, it will create a thread called main. Your program will run on this thread unless you create an additional thread yourself. The first thing the main thread is to look for your static void main method and invoke it. That is the entry point to your program after it's run code inside the main method. Then main thread terminates. The Java Virtual Machine also creates some internal threads for background work such as garbage collection. Remember that the main thread that starts your program, or simply which run public static void main method. On the internet, you can find parent thread term to describe the main thread. In Java, you can find a parent-child relationship between classes, and there is no parent-child relationship among Java threads, so you cannot use parent thread when you refer to the main thread. Let's create a new class that extends thread class in order to create an additional thread. Server thread now extends the server thread class with the thread class. The main class, I have to initiate the server thread class object and start the thread by calling the start method of thread class like this. Server thread equals new server thread. Thread.start. Please note that I didn't override the run method of thread class. As I said in previous video, when program calls start method and a new thread is created and code inside the run method is executed, but there is no run method. Will this code compile? Well, the answer is yes, it will compile without error. The reason is that the thread class itself implements Runnable, but its run method doesn't sync. If you go to the thread class declaration, click here for the class declaration. Here you can see the thread class implements the Runnable interface, so if you run this code, the thread doesn't do anything. It just finishes immediately. Now you can see only build successful message without any other output. Now override the run method of thread class, but before this, I have a question for you. What is the difference between start and run method? You can have these as interview questions. The main difference between these methods is when I program called start methods, a new thread is created and code inside the run method is executed. But when you call run methods directly, no new thread will be created and the code inside the run method will be executed inside the current thread. That means we should call start method if we want the code to be executed in a different thread. Another difference in these methods in Java that you cannot call start method twice. The second call of start method in an already started thread will throw illegal state exception. Well, we can call run method twice. Here you can see the second call of the start method throws illegal state exception. So the start method created a new thread that executes the run method code. On the second start, it is starting a thread which is already started, which caused the program to throw an exception. Now I am going to override the run method of thread class and add some code inside run method. For now, we are going to print some text inside this run method. This just a simple code. At the end of these video tutorials you will be able to create a program which can transfer files. Okay, let's me warp this code in a while loop and print the current client number. And now we have a thread run method which prints some text. We can give our thread a name if we want to track a thread. Let's create a constructor for our thread which accepts one argument for thread name. Call setName method of thread class for assigning the name of the thread. This keyword is used for the current object reference. Let's modify this to print the thread name in print statement of the run method code. We can call getName method of thread class for thread name. This method returns the name of the thread. Now pass the thread name at the time of object creation. You can see in this output here is our thread name, and this one is our client number 1 to 100. Subscribe for upcoming tutorial in advanced Java and other programming languages like PHP, animation.